The rural equivalent of the top 3 biggest cities in the US. Chicago has about 10 million people, and they're all packed in nicely together right in here. And if you were to spread that same population out, it would take about all of New Mexico, and then half of Arizona, Colorado, half of Texas even. I mean, it gets into a lot of these little states. Even Utah gets a little slip of it. The same thing, but LA, which is slightly bigger than Chicago, looks like just a nuclear bomb went off right here in the middle of the country, which having all the people from Los Angeles actually move to this part of the US, it probably would be the equivalent of a nuclear bomb going off. Finally, New York City. I love how they show us different areas as if like certain cities wouldn't move to certain parts of the US, like New York would only want to move to Idaho and Montana. But yeah, I mean, if you couldn't tell already, there's not a whole lot of US population in these states. Never forget what they took from you. I won't sleep until we one day get back Doggerland. As little as 8,000 years ago, this is what the northwest part of the continent actually looked like. The United Kingdom and Ireland was not an island. It was all connected when the doggos attacked. I wonder how they came up with that name though, Doggerland. Apparently as the Ice Age was ending, sea levels began to rise, and then a huge landslide off of Norway caused a massive tsunami, which really took back a lot of the land. That's why if you look at depth level of like the sea, the North Sea it's really shallow compared to everything else. Probably for the best. I don't know if humans would be able to keep up with intelligent canines hiding in these hills. They clearly were so advanced. They also had a currency in place in this bank. These soft drinks of Europe, and I'm gonna say right now, I barely recognize some of these, except Don't You Wanna Fana. I had no idea they came from Germany though. Looks like Austria was really the thing that took over the US. Red Bull's gotta be the most popular here. Or maybe this thing in Switzerland. How does Turkey get away with selling a drink called Iran? Are they doing that to like mock one of their biggest enemies? Imagine if Russia sold a soda called like Fat American. That does sound tasty though. Love this. Even the soda world knows that Czechoslovakia is real and should be a real place even to this day. Topography of the Roman Empire. This is 117 AD at their largest extent. It's crazy that in the ancient world with all these like strange geographical features, they were able to keep everything together like they did. Like Rome is completely cut off from like the Gallic region, like all of France. It's crazy they were able to just invade that area and just hold it down for centuries. Same with Britain. I mean, then it gets even further. They had to cross the English Channel, make sure the Celts didn't get too wild or else they had to slap them around. I always forget just how high up and jaggedy Turkey is. It's like no place to live over here. There's barely any flat land. Which is a perfect segue to figure out what Turkey is like in 2021. We have Turkey for beginners. This part of Turkey is not a city. Yet these giant 3 purple circles, they are a city. This is where Turks go to the beach. This is where the Germans and Russians go to the beach. They have bananas in Turkey. I didn't know they had that. Everyone here wants to move to Istanbul, yet everyone in Istanbul wants to move over here. Are they trying to get closer to Europe or what? Finally, the biggest region of Turkey, basically like Russia, but Muslim. This is definitely where all the fun videos probably come out of this country. I did hear the climate in Turkey is all over the place. Like for instance, it could rain so much, it's basically Seattle up here. Every band of a different color holds exactly 1% of world population. So with that information, you can see just how many people live in Asia. It is terrifying when you look at Asia and then you look at all of the west coast of the US and Canada. Apparently nobody's living here. Same with even the middle part too. Then that even starts to include parts of Mexico. There's actually a lot more people in South America than I expected when you put it like this. But actually that's misleading because this blue and this blue are a part of the same band. And I'm sorry Oceania, but as far as I'm concerned, nobody lives here. That's basically what I'm getting at. That's the most informative part of this whole thing. I don't know what type of AI algorithm programmed this, but I'm kind of terrified. Like that might be the thing that destroys humans. Whatever mathematical equation it had to do to create this image is terrifying. California is the world's 5th largest economy. I actually think this might have been from 2 years ago, but didn't they just recently release like California's economy is still really strong? We are just behind Germany and Japan. Will this be the future axis of World War III? Because I'm pretty sure these old allies probably don't want Italy's help anymore. What's crazy is that 22% increase though. This one state grew faster than the US, Japan, and Germany. Not China though, China catching up quick. Here's a visualization of all the passes in a soccer or football match. This is as of 890 games played. This is crazy technology. You just move your mouse and you can see where they're passing the ball to. Like if you're in the corner, they're obviously not going to try to pass it out of bounds. I'd like to add to what I said before. Definitely this AI is involved in well in like humans Doom. This stuff is getting amazing. The Office character speech frequency. So you can see throughout the entire show who has the most lines. obviously, Michael pretty much carried that thing for like the first, 5 seasons? And he wasn't there in the very beginning, but he really started to try to take up the mantle at the end. That's like the most interesting part of the graph, like which characters tried to take the load once Steve Carell left. It's basically a cross between Andy, Dwight, and Jim. Actually kind of got rid of Pam for a second there. Percentage of adults reporting binge or heavy drinking. This part of California is basically being held up by me and my editors. So the lighter the color, the less likely they are reporting that they are alcoholics. What exactly is going on in Wisconsin? Because those are some deep, deep colors. 28% of the population in a lot of these counties. Is it because it's so cold, like you guys don't know what else to do? Does drinking and cheese go well together? I'm pretty sure like a lot of these northern states just have nothing better to do, honestly. It's just so cold. Got to keep yourself warm somehow. That explains Russia too, with all their like vodka addictions. Now on the other hand, it's the southern states that seem to be doing the least of this. Everyone loves to dunk on the South, but look at this. My birth state, Alabama, we ain't doing too bad. West Virginia also doing really good. I'm wondering, do they have like those wet and dry counties out there? Maybe that's how they're like restricting people from like doing too much stuff. There definitely has to be a correlation between like the weather and this, because even Alaska's really high up. I guess you're just stuck inside, so you have nothing better to do. A time lapse of US drought starting from the 2000s. So the red is going to be exceptional drought. Yellow is like an abnormal dry. I actually didn't know that everyone was kind of dealing with these issues. I mean, I knew it was specifically California. I think our issues did start around the late 2000s. Whoa! What was going on in Texas? There definitely seems to be more red as we go further, as we get later into this decade. Okay, there goes California. That's gonna go away for a little bit. Oh yeah, it's like permanently red. Is it gonna stay red? It's gonna come back. Okay, I actually can't tell. Whoa, 2019 was a really wet year all around the country. Wow. I can't actually tell though if it might be getting worse. It seems... yeah, it's probably getting worse. Or maybe we just have better data to collect this information. Distribution by percentage of Lego brick colors in current Lego sets. Wow. Very creative of you, Lego. Denmark should be very proud. Top 3 colors, black, white, and gray. Oh, don't forget dark gray, too. Where's the hot pink at? You don't got no hot pink in these current Lego sets? There's literally not pink, and there's barely any purple. Looking at Legos just reminds me of all the times I got frustrated reading the manual, and I just threw whatever, like, half-assed creation I had built to that point up against the wall. But I will admit, Bionicles has helped me keep my virginity, so thank you for that. I've seen this before, but I'm always amazed at how huge New Guinea actually is. On a regular map, this projection does not do the island actually any justice. The thing stretches from London to Moscow almost perfectly. Like looking at this area in terms of Europe, it's massive. So many things could have happened here. Do we even know what's going on in Papua New Guinea? Are there people that eat other people out there? I think that's like the only thing I know. Here's an animated map showing the Korean War back in the 1950s. I know how close we almost got kicked out. Then we're going to take it all the way up to China. At this point, I think China gets involved, right? And they push us all the way back. Man, this thing was just a teeter-totter, massively swinging back and forth, and then about 1951, it seems like it's starting to settle just around the 38th parallel. That was a really quick conflict, but man, this does not get enough attention, I feel. Top 15 most shared musicians on Lay Reddit. Let's see who Lay Redditors like the most. Oh, would you look at that? They just could never give him up. Almost 100,000 shares. He's beaten out everyone by far, but that's probably just because of the meme. I don't know if it's beyond that. The rest of the list goes Simon and Garfunkel, Lemon Demon, I don't know who that is, Pink Floyd, Gorillaz, Metallica, Weird Al. Look at Weird Al still going like 40 years later. I mean, he's just a comedian. Damn, imagine what Kanye would do if he wasn't beating Eminem. I guess we'll never know. How the US vaccine program is progressing by state. This is kind of an updated version, so it goes all the way till June. So this is cases on the y-axis, and then X is the total doses administered by 100 people. Oh yeah, Michigan had some weird thing going on, that's right. What was going on with that? It's like this huge spike. Oh, I didn't even hear about that. Whoa, they're going off the charts. Boom, okay, everyone's starting to come back down, but for the most part, the cluster all heading in the right direction now. By May, late May, now there seems to be a little bit of a divide. Certain states have just kind of stopped, West Virginia being one of them, whereas other states like Hawaii, Massachusetts, Virginia, is that Virginia? VA? Some states are starting to run at the end of the line of people willing to get it compared to others. It's getting interesting. What is actually in a jar of Nutella? I'm so afraid of these results right now. I'm gonna feel so ashamed. Bunch of palm oil, skim milk, cocoa, hazelnut, and then about a quarter is just raw sugar. Mother Basically, instead of buying Nutella, you should just take a scoop of sugar from your jar. You don't even need some of these other things, to be honest. How you gonna name it Nutella and not put any nut? Oh, there is nut. I was just trying to make a nut joke, but damn it, there that goes. Difference between accuracy and precision. So this is low accuracy and low precision. Low accuracy, but high precision, since it's all clustered here, but it's not necessarily in the right location. High accuracy, low precision, and then here is both. Everything hitting right in the bullseye. To be honest, I looked at that whole thing and I'm still confused about what precision is. Quality, condition, or fact of being exact and accurate. Okay, that still didn't help. Whatever, moving on. Almost didn't review this one because I just thought it was a meme. No, it's educational still. Hyenas are more closely related to cats than they are to canines. Hippopotamuses are closer to dolphins than buffalo. Again, how? Mushrooms are closer to humans, specifically Ricardo, than plants. Maybe that's why so many crazy things happens when humans eat mushrooms. Crocodiles are closer to toucans than lizards. Maybe this is a giant meme. I don't know if I can even believe this. Sugar glider closer to a kangaroo than a flying squirrel. And then potato is closer to a tomato than to sweet potato. I am really confused right now. Is this Mother Nature just trying to flex on us, just confuse us even more? They knew we were gonna have to study this stuff one day and they just said, screw you and your GPA, make this more confusing than it has to be. Which sci-fi movie should I watch? Now, of course, there are different genres of sci-fi. Hard sci-fi, space opera, action, comedy. I've never thought of The Matrix to be cyberpunk though, but I guess it is. That is true if I think about it. We need more sci-fi comedies, that's what I'm seeing. There's only a couple of movies of that. I do like me some hard sci-fi, some Star Trek, some Interstellar, some 2001 Space Odyssey, Caffeine Spectrum, but this does vary by brand, of course. Espresso has the biggest bang for your buck, the least amount of liquid, but the most caffeinated. Then there's tea with no caffeine. And what the hell is this nitro? That's gonna keep you up for 3 days, no doubt. I feel like that's got a little bit of that old Coca-Cola recipe in it. The old Coca-Cola recipe that I can't even say anymore. Damn, I drink ClBlr all the time. It's got that much caffeine? Maybe I should not do that. I'm getting the shakes just looking at this stuff. Up all night trying to finish a project, so you get a coffee. Now you just can't focus, but you're still procrastinating. It's like the worst. A chart in this store that shows you how much yarn do I need for this project. Trying to make some socks, you need super fine yarn. And of course, yarn gets thicker, goes from fine to light to medium, all the way down to jumbo. I want all my clothes to use jumbo yarn. I'm trying to change up my style. I'm trying to go to the beach looking like this. And thank you to the patrons of June. Drew's Argentinian grandpa. I'm about a nut. AryanAfterHours. Sussy Imposter does a little trolling. Zeffi. Poppy Drew Woo. Stormtrooper 501. Patrick C. Manny 74. LuxembourgLover. Aaron F. Anthony G. Call of Tortoise. Dalton D. Elijah Senpai. EpiNick. Full Send. Kaylee K. And M203 BrushEm. Thank you.